Welcome back to the Deep Dive, and a massive welcome to all our C9 followers listening in. Great to have you with us, whether you're on the podcast feed or checking us out via the business page. I'm Lex.
And I'm Vera. Hello, everyone. Today, our mission is pretty clear, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're here to cut through all that noise, that information overload that Australian business owners and C-level execs are facing.
Yeah, we're Lex and Vera, and we're going deep today on the future of operations. We're talking Agentic Process Automation, APA.
Right, APA. And look, this isn't just another tech buzzword floating around. It's shaping up to be a really critical strategic edge.
It really is. We're talking about something set to genuinely revolutionize how businesses operate and, importantly, drive some serious growth here in Australia by, 2026?
Exactly. And the sources we've looked at, they're really flagging an accelerating risk here.
Mm-hmm. It's like this ticking time bomb, isn't it? You've got outdated legacy systems.
Cripplingly high costs from processes that are just, inefficient, manual.
And the stark reality is your competitors. They're getting more agile. They're moving faster.
So today, we're basically laying out the roadmap. How do you turn those operational headaches into real strategic wins?
Okay, so if this sounds like something you absolutely need to get your head around for the next, say, 18 months,
then please hit that follow button right now and maybe share this deep dive with colleagues, peers, anyone who needs this knowledge.
Definitely. Right, let's get into it.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about that pressure cooker environment, in Australian boardrooms right now.
Yeah, it's palpable. Executives are really wrestling with inflated costs, aren't they?
Hugely. Costs coming from manual processes, things that should be automated but aren't.
And systems that just don't talk to each other. That poor integration piece is massive.
It really is. And the outcome. Often it's missed growth targets. It's falling short.
Which isn't just, a bit inefficient. It's a fundamental challenge to profitability. It hits the bottom line.
And the traditional fixes, they're just not cutting it anymore, are they?
No, not really. The solution isn't just throwing more automation at the problem. It needs to be smarter. An intelligent evolution, perhaps.
Okay, so that leads us nicely into Agentic Process Automation, APA.
Exactly. APA, you can think of it as the successor, really, to traditional robotic process automation, or RPA.
Right, RPA. We all know RPA. It's been foundational for years, hasn't it? But it's basically a fixed script.
Totally fixed. It's brilliant at those very rigid, rule-based tasks, data entry, filling out specific forms.
But if anything changes, even slightly, the process shifts.
The RPA bot often just breaks. It needs that predictable path.
And that's the key limitation, isn't it?
It is. APA is different. It introduces, true AI agents.
AI agents, so not just bots following instructions.
Think of it like this. RPA is like a train on a fixed track. Super fast, super reliable, but only if the track is perfect and the route never, ever changes.
Okay, I get that analogy.
APA, though, it's more like an autonomous vehicle. It can reason, it can adapt to what's actually happening, the context.
So it can make decisions.
Yes, decisions in real time. If there's a roadblock, it can figure out a detour and still get to the destination. It's not just stuck.
Wow, okay. That shift from just fixed rules to genuine adaptive decision-making, that feels huge.
It is seismic, and the market data backs this up. Look at Gartner. They're projecting that by 2028, 33% of enterprise software apps will have agentic AI built in.
33%, up from less than 1% this year.
Exactly. Less than 1% in 2024. That's an incredible trajectory.
And the overall AI market.
Also exploding. It's projected to blast past $500 billion by 2025.
$500 billion.
But, if you're sitting in that C-suite, the really eye-popping stat is probably the budget allocation.
Go on.
Agentic AI is expected to basically dominate IT budgets in 2026. We're talking $1.3 trillion globally.
$1.3 trillion.
Yep, accounting for over 26% more than a quarter of all technology spending.
Okay, that budget prediction, that's not just some trend. That feels like a strategic imperative.
It absolutely is. I mean, if a quarter of global IT spend is pivoting towards these agentic systems.
Standing still means you're actually falling behind. Fast.
Precisely. And what's really fascinating is why this shift to APA is happening so fast, why it's so dominant now.
What's the core driver?
It enables systems to make independent decisions with intent. That's the key word, intent.
Intent, as in understanding the goal, not just the steps.
Exactly. It moves way beyond just automating a click sequence. It's about orchestrating a complex, multi-step business outcome, even when things change, when variables pop up.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
But hang on, if APA is meant to work with RPA, maybe integrate with it, Why are some experts, on platforms like X basically saying RIP to RPA, calling for its demise?
Yes, the RIP to RPA debate. It's a great point, and honestly, the sources show some mixed feelings here.
So what's the argument for ditching RPA?
Well, those arguing RIP tend to believe that these intelligent agents will become so capable they'll free up humans for purely strategic work, making those old fixed script bots kind of redundant, obsolete.
Well, okay, I see the logic, but what's the counter-argument?
The more pragmatic view, and this seems backed up by early success stories, points towards synergy, a partnership.
Synergy. How so?
APA handles the complex stuff, the nuance, the decision-making, the dynamic problem-solving.
Right.
But RPA still provides that rock-solid precision and efficiency for the really high-volume, repetitive data jobs. The grunt work, maybe.
So it's like a hybrid approach for guaranteed reliability, not just replacement.
Exactly. You get the best of both worlds, reliability and intelligence working together.
And are we seeing this hybrid approach land in Australia yet?
Oh, absolutely. It's already hitting key Australian industries pretty hard.
Like where? Give us some examples.
Okay, so in healthcare, think patient intake. APA can adapt the process based on specific insurance details or complex medical histories automatically.
Right, much smarter than a fixed form.
Definitely. In logistics, you're seeing much smarter inventory management. Using predictive decision-making, it's almost becoming standard.
And manufacturing.
Huge potential there. Global examples are showing agentic AI cutting downtime by up to 50%.
50%. How?
Through predictive maintenance. The system anticipates failures before they happen based on subtle data patterns.
Wow. Okay, so if we tie all this back to the executives listening,
Yeah.
what's the immediate payoff?
It boils down to some pretty compelling numbers. First, efficiency gains. We're talking operational cost reductions of potentially 25 to 50%.
25 to 50% cost reduction. That's significant.
Very. Plus, APA gives you enhanced scalability. It can finally handle those massive amounts of unstructured data accurately.
Which effectively tackles that legacy system roadblock we mentioned earlier.
Exactly. It helps you overcome that barrier. But, and this is a big but.
Uh-oh. I sense a catch.
Well, where you have rapid innovation, you often find accelerated risks, too.
Right. Which absolutely brings us to the AI Cowboys.
The AI Cowboys, yes. And the major risk here is that temptation, isn't it? The lure of quick, cheap solutions.
Built using what the sources are calling vibes coding.
Vibes coding. Yeah, it sounds almost funny, but it's actually pretty dangerous. It's essentially hasty, intuition-led development.
So relying too much on AI code generation without proper checks.
Exactly. Not enough human oversight, not enough structured testing, not enough quality assurance.
And for Australian organizations, especially those handling sensitive data.
It's a minefield. This
Okay.
gray area is just fraught with severe dangers.
Like what? What's the most immediate threat?
Security. Number one. AI-generated code can, sometimes inadvertently, sometimes not, introduce really subtle bugs or inherent biases from the training data.
Or even actual backdoors.
Potentially, yes. We're also seeing things like packet hallucinations and issues from training on potentially vulnerable data sets.
Okay, packet hallucinations. Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. It basically means the AI generates data, maybe a transaction record, user input that looks completely real, completely legitimate.
But it's not.
But it's entirely fabricated or misleading. And that opens the door to devastating cyber threats, potential IP leaks.
And massive compliance headaches with Australian data privacy laws.
Absolutely. Non-compliance is a huge risk.
So security is one danger. What else?
Scalability, or rather, the lack of it. A quick vibe-coded app might seem fine with a few users testing it out.
But when you hit peak load, real-world usage.
The system just collapses. They often aren't built with the robust architecture needed for high availability. They become unmaintainable nightmares.
Okay, unmaintainable. That leads to the long-term danger.
Precisely. No knowledge transfer. These cowboy outfits, they prioritize speed, getting it out the door, over actually empowering your internal team.
So you're left completely dependent on the vendor for every little fix, every update.
Yep, total vendor lock-in. And that just erodes any long-term value you thought you were getting from the investment. Your own team doesn't learn.
So this raises a really critical question for anyone listening, especially those in analytical roles. What's the real cost if your hastily built, vibe-coded APA solution misses a crucial edge case in compliance, and you get hit with a massive regulatory fine?
Or what if it just crashes during your busiest trading period? Think about that lost revenue, often completely unrecoverable.
That kind of risk makes a structured, reliable approach feel absolutely non-negotiable for implementing APA, doesn't it?
100%. You need a partner who explicitly understands and mitigates this vibes coding danger from day one.
Which neatly brings us to the operational model.
Mm,
How do you find that reliable partner? Because choosing can feel, well, overwhelming.
it really can. And we hear the common frustrations all the time: inconsistent quality, or maybe purely offshore models that are cheap, but lack that vital local compliance understanding.
So what does a successful model look like, based on the sources?
The real differentiator seems to be a blended hybrid model, onshore and offshore working together.
Okay, break that down. What does each part do?
Your local onshore experts handle the really crucial bits: the strategy, making sure you're adhering strictly to Australian compliance, and that deep ongoing collaboration with your existing teams. They're embedded.
Right, the strategic and compliance oversight.
While your high-quality global talent, the offshore component, brings the cost efficiency and, frankly, the round-the-clock productivity benefits.
So you get genuine savings compared to those highly inflated local-only rates, but without sacrificing the strategic insight or local knowledge.
That's the idea. It's about strategic flexibility for the C-suite, getting the best value without compromising quality or compliance.
And contractually, what works best for something complex like APA?
Well, for the kind of continuity these projects need, the evidence suggests that 3 to 6 month minimum lock-in contracts are actually strategically better than just rolling monthly agreements.
Some might hear lock-in and get nervous, though.
I understand that, but it's not about trapping you. It's about building essential project momentum. It ensures deep continuity, especially for tricky integration work.
And crucially,
It allows for proper staged rollouts. That means you can start seeing early, verifiable ROI much sooner.
and it's not just about hiring one developer, is it?
No, definitely not. The goal should be integrated teams. You need multidisciplinary resources.
So developers writing the code,
Integrators connecting it to your maybe clunky legacy systems.
and analysts who truly understand and map the business processes being automated.
Exactly. It's about assembling a holistic squad tailored to your specific custom software app integration or database needs, not just a single gun for hire.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's pivot to maybe the most critical investment in this entire process.
Ah, yes.
The discovery call.
Or more accurately, the discovery phase. Skipping this, it's like the #1 recipe for disaster, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Budget blowouts, timelines dragging out forever, it just breeds vendor mistrust down the line.
So investing time upfront in discovery actually eliminates future risk. It's not just an optional nice to have.
Totally essential. And the goal of a proper discovery process is transparency and, above all, accuracy. How does it start?
It starts by really digging into your internal triggers. What specific systems or processes are failing you right now? What's outdated? What's causing pain?
Okay, identify the pain points. Then what?
Then we map out the key decision points together, define clear milestones, identify those hidden risks before they derail the project.
And break the whole thing down into manageable stages.
Exactly, which leads to the final output: a customized roadmap,
The roadmap detailing.
a phased APA implementation, typically starting with an MVP, a minimum viable product focused on getting some quick, tangible wins on the board.
Followed by more iterative development phases.
Correct. And this structured process is absolutely vital for avoiding the dreaded pricing trap.
The pricing trap. You mean those vague initial quotes?
Precisely. Indicative pricing, those rough guesses rounded to the nearest day or week, they're fundamentally worthless for complex projects.
Worthless.
Because they almost always ignore the real integration complexity or the state of your existing systems. It inevitably leads to like 20 to 30% cost inflation mid-project.
Due to scope creep or discovering nasty technical debt.
You got it. Hidden costs just lurking beneath the surface.
Can you give us a concrete example,
Yeah.
like from the source material?
Sure. An indicative quote might guess, say, 80 hours for what seems like a simple APA integration.
Okay, sounds reasonable up front.
But then during a proper discovery, you uncover really deep, complex requirements needed to hook it into your specific, maybe quite old, legacy ERP system.
And the real need balloons.
Exactly. It balloons to maybe 200 hours. Discovery-based pricing forces that detailed analysis up front, refining estimates down to the nearest hour.
Which avoids those horrible mid-project budget surprises.
Completely. It manages expectations realistically from the start.
And this ties back to ROI, doesn't it?
It does beautifully. Because Discovery ensures staged projects, it enables that early, verifiable ROI we talked about.
Which can then fund the next stages.
Precisely. Imagine phase 1 successfully automates, say, your high-volume invoicing. That immediately saves the business, let's say, $5,000 a month.
Okay, a tangible saving.
That direct, immediate saving can then be used to fund phase 2, which might tackle a more complex deployment. It creates a virtuous cycle.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what's the big takeaway for our listeners today?
Agentic Process Automation, APA, heading into 2026. It genuinely promises to revolutionize Australian businesses. It can slash costs, turbocharge growth.
But the adoption has to be wise. It needs to be structured, strategic.
And you absolutely must avoid the pitfalls of that risky vibes coding approach.
Which is where a trusted partner comes in. C9 stands ready as your innovative, reliable partner for all things custom software, apps, integration, and database development.
Offering that structured approach that really prioritizes security, scalability, and importantly, knowledge transfer back to your team.
Now, we want to leave you with one final, maybe provocative thought to consider. Since we've seen that early ROI from well-managed APA projects can actually be used to fund the later, more ambitious phases.
Right, the self-funding innovation idea.
How does that reality challenge your company's traditional, perhaps quite rigid annual IT budgeting and approval processes?
That's a good question. Does innovation always need a massive upfront budget sign-off if it can start paying for itself quickly?
Something to think about. We really urge Australian business owners and C-level executives listening. Start the conversation about APA. Schedule a free discovery call.
Don't wait. Find out what's possible. Are you ready to revolutionize your operations with Automate RPA Developers Automation Services?
Then visit C9. That's C9, Australia's leading custom software, apps integration, and database developer company.
You can find us online at www.c9.com.au. That's c9.com/.au.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive today.
We'll see you next time.